Wow. Bad news for Dillian Whyte. Luis Ortiz is on him. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. We got bad news for Dillian Whyte. Sky Sports, link in the description. You guys seen the title. It says Luis King Kong Ortiz, Cuban heavyweight, has accepted a verbal challenge from Dillian Whyte for a heavyweight showdown next year. So Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte did what they've previously done, and they mentioned a bunch of short list names that they want to fight. And one of those names was this man. You guys see that? He looks all business. King Kong Ortiz in the flesh. Fought Wilder's twice. You know, when nobody else would fight him, Wilder stepped up. And he called this man out. And now he got to deal with that. That right there. Called this man out. And Luis Ortiz has responded. Says the Brixton man has declared his interest in a fight against Ortiz while he waits for a rescheduled rematch with Alexander Povetkin, who pulled out because of the Rona. Right? And they're citing it. It says Whyte to fight Ortiz before the Povetkin rematch. Dillian Whyte could face 4 possible opponents if a rematch is further delayed, and Luis Ortiz is the #1 choice. That's what Eddie Hearn is claiming. So they've been doing interviews saying that's what they want. And it says, asked about Ortiz's availability, his coach, Jimenez, told Sky Sports, Ortiz heard those rumors. I guess Dillian was calling his name and other names, and he reached out to me and asked, look, if that's true, I would like to step in the ring with him. That would be a great fight. So Luis Ortiz, you see on screen, per his team, he looking for the smoke. I guess Dillian was calling his name and other names. Luis Ortiz personally reached out and asked, look, if that's true, I want to step in the ring with him. That would be a great fight. His coach said, I told him that I would find out. I think, yeah, that would be a great fight. So they're on board. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Luis Ortiz would love to take that fight. I say January or February, Ortiz could be ready. Wow. So it's the end of the year, and, you know, as soon as realistically January, February, his team is saying they could be ready for it. Speaking on this week's Ringside Toe-to-Toe podcast, Dillian Whyte said, even now, Povetkin keeps delaying. He's saying he's sick. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I want you to be at your best when I fight you. Have as much time as you want. Let me fight Luis Ortiz in February. Then I'll fight you later this year. Now, I will give credit to Dillian Whyte for the simple fact, at least he is calling for these names. You know, other people in this position, they would choose to wait it out. Because, you know, if I was going to fight someone, I would rather fight Povetkin, even though he knocked out Dillian Whyte, as opposed to Luis Ortiz. Very different styles, and it's just a different fight that Luis Ortiz brings. He has snap to his punches, so he has the power. He has a ton of experience, just like Povetkin. But I think both guys are age 40, 41-ish. You know, they're both pushing over 40. But the difference is Luis Ortiz, unless he's not the same fighter after the 2 Wilder fights, and he's already come back in the ring and annihilated somebody in the first round. So it wasn't much of a, it didn't really show us much, but his power was still there. You know, I would say this is a great fight. And to me, I think Luis Ortiz, based on his footwork, is more elite and next level than Povetkin at age 40. So they both, Povetkin got power. He showed you that. He knocked out Dillian Whyte, of course. But they're both sneaky. They're both experienced. I think Luis Ortiz is just, I just rate him highly. Whyte had floored Povetkin twice before suffering a shock knockout in August, and he still plans to avenge that loss. Ortiz would be willing to travel to Britain. So Luis Ortiz he's telling you right now, and I love this energy. Luis Ortiz, true throwback fighter. Shout out to Cuba. Shout out to all my Cubanos, right? not only is he responding quickly, he's not waiting for months to go by and then finally open his mouth. His team has promptly been reached out to, or they reached out to Sky Sports, whatever. And he said, we heard the chatter. We would like that. We could be ready the first couple months of next year. And that's fair, you know, because it's the wrapping and clothing of the year, Christmas. There's not enough time to prepare a heavyweight fight like that. So I love this. With Povetkin being sick and Dillian Whyte saying he keeps pulling out sick. I mean, the Rona's a global pandemic and it's something that's new. And I don't blame Povetkin. I mean, they said he has the Rona. He says he has doctor's notes and stuff like that. I'm not nobody to tell him that he doesn't have it. You know, I will admit in boxing, I think some people have used the Rona excuse, and that's for a variety of different reasons. And I don't know that they had it, but I can't say Povetkin, he won by knockout. So I can't say that he doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that really seems suspicious. So I had pneumonia before multiple times in my life, but recently as an adult, like a couple years ago, and I'm telling you, your breathing, I had fluid in my lungs. The breathing, it took a while, even after I started feeling better and my cough went away and I was on antibiotics. It took a minute for me to actually be able to walk longer distances with my breathing feeling right. So I don't knock Alexander Povetkin for trying to be at his best and stuff like that and prolonging it. He said he won't be ready till later next year, and I salute him for that. You're 41 years old. You were in a fight with Dillian Whyte. It was considered an upset. And then you came down with the Rona. So you got to give yourself the best fighting chance in the rematch, because you know Dillian Whyte's going to come hungry. But it says Ortiz is willing to go to the UK for a clash between the two contenders who are highly ranked within the WBC. I know Dillian Whyte had the unfortunate loss and he was winning the fight. He got careless, he got caught, but that's the heavyweights, said Team Ortiz. It's a heavyweight division. You can't afford any slippage. If that's possible, yes, we will go wherever the money is at. That would be a big fight. I couldn't agree with Team Ortiz anymore. And in fact, I love this energy from Team Ortiz. I've been calling for this fight for years. And despite things that have happened, Dillian Whyte coming off of a loss, guess what? Luis Ortiz, he's one fight removed from a knockout loss. So it's still a good fight, because even though things have changed since I was calling for it 2, 3, 4 years ago or whatever, it's still a relevant fight. They're still top ranked, top 10 heavyweights. They're a level below the championships. Even though Dillian Whyte never really fought for a title shot, he got close. You know, he was screaming all this 1,000-day nonsense, and then, you know, ultimately he got caught by Povetkin. So he did fight Joshua, who later became a champion. So it's still a relevant fight, and I think it's pretty fair. Dillian Whyte, he's coming off a knockout, but pretty much so is Luis Ortiz, because Dillian Whyte, he didn't get to avenge or have an opportunity to avenge, but Luis Ortiz's last fight literally only lasted less than 3 minutes. It was a one-rounder. The guy kind of got hit and went down to the body, so it kind of ended weird. So right before that was the Wilder knockout. So I would say both guys are pretty much coming off of knockout losses. You know, if you want to be technical, Luis Ortiz, he got a win in the win column, but it wasn't much resistance. Dillian Whyte could provide some of that resistance, and Luis Ortiz can definitely do the same for Dillian Whyte. So be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Now, I don't really want to bore you guys with the I told you so. No, I'm just playing. I do want to bore y'all. I told y'all so. So just to show you guys, this is your boy Ego. 2 days ago, I said, okay, Wilder, Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz, clout chased by Dillian Whyte. So let's see if they make this fight. You know, Luis Ortiz has now responded, etc. Dillian Whyte suggests he could have knocked out Luis Ortiz 1 year ago. Eddie Hearn not really trying to make Luis Ortiz fight with Dillian Whyte 2 years ago. So as I just told you, this is something that's been brewing for quite some time. Luis Ortiz confronts Dillian Whyte 2 years ago. So you guys see on Wax, I did videos 2 years ago where I was clamoring for these
wow, Luis King Kong Ortiz accepts a fight with Dillian Whyte, says, if you don't want to fight in the U.S., I'll come over to you and fight you in the UK in December. Stay tuned.
So there you have it. Luis Ortiz has accepted this new challenge. I love the fight. I think it's still a meaningful fight. It's a reasonable fight. Let's go for it. I want to see this happen next. And we'll see. Dillian Whyte, he may be forced to live up to the call out. You can't just call people's name out. You can't get the Deontay Wilder fight, most likely, because he's probably going to fight Fury if the arbitrating judge decides that. And you might not get Andy Ruiz because I think PBC has other plans for him. So why wouldn't we watch a fight with the two of them? And you can't get Povetkin either because he's sick. So this is definitely a great fight. And let me bring this up too. Luis Ortiz, this is his record. Because a lot of people are mistaken. They keep disrespecting this man, calling him an old man. He was born in 1979. Always remember that. Age 41, right? 1979, Cuba, right? 6'4". So we can't just disrespect him and call him an old man because he's 41. But then you look at Dillian Whyte, the body snatcher, and he's 32. I get that. But let's see who he recently fought. Povetkin was his last opponent. Boom. What I tell you, 1979, age 41. This is Dillian Whyte, literally his last opponent. Literally. You fought a 41-year-old born the same year as Luis Ortiz, right? Maris Weck, boom. Dillian Whyte fought right before he got knocked out by Povetkin in that fight. You fought Maris Weck. What year was he born? Oh, that part. 1979, same year as Luis Ortiz, age 41. This is Dillian Whyte's last few opponents. So there can be no excuses. You can't say, oh, let's see how old Chisora is. I know he's up there. Okay, he's 36, so a little bit younger. Okay. And Lucas Brown, let's check his age. Boom. This must have been a good year. Everybody was ucking in 1979 because your other opponent, Lucas Brown, was born that same year. So that's Dillian Whyte. There's no reason he should not fight Luis Ortiz next. Povetkin, you can't fight him. He's ill, and he said he won't be ready. And you said you want to keep going, and you don't want to have to sit around and wait for him. And Deontay Wilder, he's trying to fight Fury still, so rule them off. I have sources that told me Andy Ruiz, they're already plotting his next move. So there's no reason not to fight Luis Ortiz. You can say, oh, he's 41, he's an old man. He's been knocked out. So has Povetkin. So he was born in 1979, Luis Ortiz. But look at one, I just showed you, Povetkin, Wok, and Lucas Brown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of Dillian Whyte's last 6 opponents, 3 of the 6 were born the same exact year as Luis Ortiz. And then the other person who gave him a pretty tough fight, even in the rematch, Derek Chisora, he's 30 something, 36 or whatever it said. So if you could fight Povetkin, Wok, Chisora, and Lucas Brown, that's like 4 out of 6 of the people you fought were 36 or better, basically, right around there. You know, 3 of them were actually born the same year. Then Luis Ortiz should be nothing. And in the past, Dillian Whyte said that Luis Ortiz is an old man and all this. His team has responded back. They said they want the work. Let it go. I want to see it. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Luis Ortiz has responded. Great news for boxing fans. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.